Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Al, and this week we got yet another build for the upcoming patch of 10.1. This most recent update features a Mythic Plus dungeon improvements, crafted gear upgrades, and a ton of class changes, with a handful of PvE adjustments increasing class performance in dungeons and raids, as well as massive buffs for PvP, to make sure none of your favorite playstyles fall behind once patch 10.1 officially launches. So in today's video, I wanted to cover all of the various improvements coming to our classes in the most recent 10.1 build. But right before that, most of you guys watching these videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you want to get more regular content regarding all of the newest Dragonflight updates and changes going forward. Before we dive into some class-specific changes, the base value of Leech is seeing a reduction, where its stat rating is reduced by 25%. Leech is an invaluable stat for most healers, especially in PvE content, where all damage and healing that you provide to your raid or party returns as self-sustainability, meaning that you spend less time focusing on yourself and more time maintaining your allies. This self-survivability also affects certain DPS classes, which in some cases has helped minimize the importance of having a healer in your group, especially in 5-man content. While this leech change does affect certain DPS and healing classes, this adjustment is primarily there to maintain the relevancy of the healing role as we head into the patch 10.1. Feral Druids are receiving a bit of a tune-up, with a somewhat underused ability of Convoke receiving a bit of a buff in this recent build. Ferocious bites cast inside of Convoke have gained a little bit more value, striking at your foes as if consuming 5 combo points instead of 4, which makes a sizable difference, and could make Convoke more useful in certain PvE encounters. Next, we have new changes coming to the class of Monk, starting with a healing Mistweaver spec. Mistweavers are seeing even more gains, specifically to help increase the quality of their melee, damage-focused Fistweaver playstyle. Feline Stomp is receiving a shorter cooldown, reduced down to 20 seconds, to make it easier to maintain your Feline in combat. Part of the base Fistweaver gameplay is resetting your Feline through healing spells and damaging strikes, and not being able to reset Feline during high movement can be quite inconvenient. Leaving your Feline allows you to retain some of its combat-enhancing properties, but only for a short time. Monks are still heavily tied to their Feline, so this change allows for even less downtime in high-movement situations. Next, we have the spec of Holy Paladin, who just like Monks are receiving more support towards the melee-focused playstyle. While at a first glance, it seems like Avenging Crusader might have been nerfed, the newly added Mastery interaction could make it a lot stronger depending on the situation. Holy Paladin Mastery is interesting, as it allows you to heal allies closest to your location more efficiently, which usually makes him an effective melee healer. In small group environments like dungeons or in close quarter raid instances, this melee healing playstyle could potentially prove to be highly effective. All Shaman specs are receiving a bit of a mana reduction in the patch 10.1, with the group-wide ability of Bloodlust becoming cheaper to cast, costing only 2% of maximum mana instead of the original 21%. While a small change, it's pretty massive for Restoration Shamans who use mana regularly to maintain their allies. Losing that much mana in a single cast can be detrimental, especially when you're trying to manage this resource during the most intense PvE encounters. The Destruction Warlock 4-set bonus has been buffed yet again this week, with the 2-set increasing the damage of Demon Fire bolts, which are passively generated by the tier set bonus, which slightly improves its value in single target encounters. Next, we have even more PvP adjustments this week over on the PTR. One of the biggest PvP changes coming to the patch 10.1 is the reduction of crit damage. This crit damage reduction will limit the impact of unexpected PvP bursts and one-shots going forward, though certain classes rely on crit damage, either during their burst windows or as part of their base sustained playstyle. Therefore, many adjustments are being made to make sure many of our favorite playstyles maintain a competitive advantage. Frost Death Knights, which are known for their soul-crushing obliterates, are getting 8% more damage to bolster their main burst windows. Havoc Demon Hunter's Eye Beam is a guaranteed critical strike. Its damage is being tuned so that the ability continues to maintain its effectiveness. Evoker's new PvP talent of Dreamcatcher turns Dreamwalk into reliable crowd control, though the increased cast time was a tad too punishing. The cast time increase of that ability has been reduced down to an additional 0.2 seconds. All mage specs are getting a bit of a baseline damage buff, particularly to abilities like Frostbolt, Ice Nova, and Dragon Breath crowd control effects. Fire mages, which greatly rely on crit to deal damage, especially inside of their combustion windows, are receiving a bit of a tune-up, with most base abilities from Fireball, Flame Strike, Pyroblast, and Fire Blast increased by 12%. Phoenix Flames has been increased by 16%, and Scorch's damage has been buffed by 20 within PvP. Finally, the talent of Glass Cannon is a little bit less punishing regarding its health decrease passive effect. Frost mages, which are also crit reliant with their shatter bonuses, are gaining new buffs, with Comet Storm and Flurry increased by 8%, Ebon Bolt and Frostbomb buffed by 12%, Ice Lance buffed by 15%, and Glacial Spike increased by 10% within PvP. Mistweaver monks are also getting new PvP buffs as well. First, Fey Accord becomes more effective at snaring enemy targets and reduces the cooldown of Feyline by 10 seconds. Dome of Mist creates a shield for 120% of the remaining periodic effect left by removed enveloping mists. And we also gain a new talent of Zen Spheres, where the monk can place a friendly sphere on an ally and a debuff sphere on an enemy. The Sphere of Hope causes allies to gain 15% more healing from the monk, while the Sphere of Despair causes those targets to deal less damage to the monk and suffer 10% additional damage from all enemy sources. Paladin's Bedazzle talent has been renamed to Searing Glare. Its cast time has been significantly reduced and is now more effective when it comes to blinding your targets. Hammer of Wrath is increased by 16% for the DPS spec of Retribution as well. The class of Rogue is getting new buffs, starting with the underplayed spec of Outlaw, which is gaining 5% additional damage all across the board from all of their base abilities, like Sinister Strike, Ambush, and Dispatch, as well as the Mastery procs, and even major cooldowns like Dreadblades and Killing Spree. Subtlety rogues are also getting even more damage as well, with Backstab and Gloomblade increased by 10%. Eviscerate and Shadow Strike get buffed by 8%, and Secret Technique becomes 5% more effective. Next, we have the class of Shaman. With the damage of Lava Burst, it's being increased by 20% for all three playstyles. Enhancement Shamans will be able to use Bloodlust and Heroism off of the global cooldown when using the PvP talent of Shamanism. And Restoration Healing Surge is increased by 6% within PvP. Then we have the class of Warlock, where we see Cast and Circle removed for patch 10.1. Destruction gains 20% more damage when using Chaos Bolts, 15% more damage when using Shadowburn, and 9% more damage when using Conflagrate. And in this most recent update, the spec of Affliction is the only spec which can utilize Essence Drain within PvP. Finally, we have the class of Warrior, where Arms gains a bit more damage when using the ability of Slam. Fury Warriors are getting a bit of a tune-up, with Bloodthirst becoming 6% more effective. The PvP talent of Slaughterhouse gains additional uptime, and the PvP talent of Enduring Rage has been redesigned. The new version of this talent will perfectly fit those of you who get furious when crowd controlled by pesky rogues within PvP. Movement impairing effects will enrage you every second that you can't properly control your character, while Enraged, a loss of control effect will have a chance to grant you recklessness whenever the crowd control fades, which allows you to retaliate back at the enemy rogues, mages, and many other crowd control classes. And that's going to be everything we have so far regarding some of the newest class updates for the patch 10.1 over on the PTR. I want to thank all of you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. as per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single video and live stream, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video or hang out with the rest of the community to discuss some of the upcoming changes. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you all so much for watching this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. And as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.